Welcome to another Zoom. We're talking to a man. Where are you, Chuck, right now? Chuck Masek. Where are you located?
In Plant City, Florida,
Plant
outside of
City.
Tampa.
So we have the privilege of talking to Chuck Masek. This is his latest book. It says At War with the Big Dogs. And let me just tell you something. Chuck and I have had a little conversation before we went on live. I read the book. After I finished reading it, sitting at my desk, I said, why are you having this guy on? Because it's a business book. When Chuck came on, I said, do you know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? He gave a wonderful testimony. So I told him, I said, this has to be the hand of God, because I turned down so many books and did not turn this one down. And God has a message for you that are watching. I don't even know what it is myself, but we're going to find out. Chuck, welcome to our audience.
Thank you.
Now, I am told that you are obviously an entrepreneur. Well, you can't read this book or write this book without being an entrepreneur. Without me reading, I have all kinds of bio on you, and that could be real boring. Kind of take your life to the point of where you wanted to write a book like this. First of all, your relationship with Jesus Christ. That's first. In fact, Chuck and I just had prayer together, tremendous time together. So that's where we're starting. Tell us your testimony.
Sure. I was raised in a family with one brother, a father, and a mother, obviously. My father was a World War II combat Marine in Okinawa, and my mother was a housewife. My father was a great and honorable man, but he had what's called PTSD. My mother was very faithful, and we went to church every Sunday. And I didn't know it then, but the Spirit of God was filling me with His Word. When I graduated from high school, I went in the military. I met my wife, came back to Shreveport, Louisiana, to Ruston to go to school at Louisiana Tech. And what happened there is that God sent people to our lives to bring our Lord to us. And people say, well, Chuck, how long have you been a believer? I said, I've been a believer about maybe a week. So, well, how do you know the scriptures? I said, because my mother took me to church every Sunday for 15 years. In fact, when I was 16 years old, I told my mom I wasn't going to go anymore. I don't have to. She said, Chuck, I wish you go. I like it when you go. So, Mom, I'm not doing it. And you can imagine what happened to a person who doesn't go to church and worship. My life fell apart in many ways. But God is faithful. He lets you stumble and fall, but He never let you out of His hands.
Amen.
Yes. And so my wife and I were raised in the church. We both became believers. And I thank God Almighty for all that He's done for us up to this point in my life. I can look back on my life. I can say I see the hand of God moving in everything I do, not because of me, because I'm nothing, but because of Him.
Take me to your first understanding. First of all, take me to your college entrance and your education and what happened in those days.
Sure. You know, I'm not a shy person, but I had low confidence because I graduated from high school with a low grade point average, 1.999. The only reason they let me graduate, I think, because the war was on and I was going to be drafted within 6 months. I went in the military, I got out, I go back to college, but I'm insecure. I don't know if I have the mustard to cut it. So I choose a study based on it not requiring a speech course. Now think about how crazy that is. I became a medical technologist. And then I went back and became a clinical microbiologist. And even though I didn't know it, those things became very useful to me in my business, in my medical device business. But I didn't know that. I just picked it because I was afraid of speech class. And now I speak publicly all the time. I'm not afraid at all. But God had to deal with me and take me. God is very patient. And thank God He's patient, okay?
Amen.
So I graduated, and then, of course, my life started there, and we began to build a family. I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I thought an entrepreneur was someone who couldn't keep a job. But it turns out I'm pretty good at it. And I started several companies, and when I was about 40 years old, we had a company going very well. It's a long story. I won't bore you with it, but the short of it is I lost everything overnight. I was $250,000 in debt. I had 4 children under the age of 13. And I said to God, I don't know what's going on here, but this is not good. But I want to trust you so that when I get to the other side of this, I can truly say I trusted in God. And I had no idea how it's going to work out. I had no idea. But through a series of events and providence of God, we did recover. We didn't lose the house. We thought we would.
Wow.
And we got to this point in our life where we started a company, and this company took off.
Now, how do you get from what you just said to talking to heads of hospitals about how they sterilize the instruments that are thrown away into landfill? Now, I mean, that's just a little brush over of what your book is talking about. But it amazes me how you would know that that was so needed that you literally built $1 billion industry.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. In 1965, they passed the Medicare Act, and that meant that the government started paying for things in surgery. And the government's rule at that time was they'd pay whatever the hospital spent. That's crazy. So what happened in 1980, the government said, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to only pay a certain fixed price. And if you spend more, too bad for you, Mr. Hospital. So for the first time in 1980, the hospitals had to be accountable to what they spent. It got so bad that disposables from 1970 to the 80s became the second highest cost in surgery next to the employee. It was an incredible, it's billions of dollars. And when I lost my company, someone called me, a friend of mine, and said, can you reprocess an EP catheter? And I said, sure I can. What's an EP catheter? And it's a long story short, I realized then that all these disposable items, these allegedly disposable items, had a potential to be reprocessed. If you can clean it, test it, and sterilize it for one more turn.
And they're worth thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. And I can tell you, the big companies, the multi-billion-dollar corporations, when we started doing this, we were in public enemy number one. And they came after us with a vengeance.
Now tell me why that happened, because we do have 30 minutes here. Why did that happen, that they were so vehement that you had to be taken out?
Well, it all comes down to money. When they sell a device for $1,000, some of these devices are more than that, and I reprocessed and sold it back to the hospital for $500, guess what? It cut into the revenue tremendously. And so we're costing these companies millions of dollars every year because we're reprocessing their device. And they fought us. We fought them state by state. We fought them in the federal government. We fought them with the FDA. In the FDA in those days, there was 2 camps, people that were for reprocessing and people were against it. And by the grace of God, the ones who were for reprocessing won over. And so finally, Congress in 2001 passed what's called MDUFMA, the Medical Device User Fee and Modernization Act. And that said in that one small paragraph that we were allowed to reprocess. The manufacturers lost the war. There's more battles to fight. We fought more battles, but they had lost the war. And now these large corporations own reprocessors.
My goodness. Now, I want to go back a ways. You were sitting in a waiting area to talk to one of the top officials in a hospital area. You have to tell me about the company. I've got, because I read the book, but I've got that in mind. But you were sitting waiting to talk to one of the top guys. And this older lady says to you, what do you do? And you said, I'm a salesman. She said, my husband was a salesman. And he always said that when you present what you come for and you finish, the one that talks first loses.
That's true.
Right?
That's exactly right. Exactly. It was a.
So you're thinking, why am I talking to this lady? Why is this all coming to me? And the receptionist says, okay, Mr. Chuck Masek, you're ready. We're ready for you. And you walk in.
Right.
Tell that story of what happened to this guy in front of you.
Well, after this lady told this to me, and I say she was an old lady, I was probably 35. She seemed old, but she wasn't. I go in to see the chief tech of radiology. I said, Mr. Smith, we've gone over this process. Here's a custom tray, and here's the price. I'd like to place the order for you. And I shut my mouth, which is hard for a salesman.
Yes.
I watched the clock ticking, and it seemed like hours. Tick, tick, tick. Sweat's dropping. I said, come on. Finally, he said, okay, we'll do it. I go, wow, it worked. And from that day forward, I use that same technique as most salesmen do, good salesmen do.
I have to tell you personally, I used to be in sales before doing what I'm doing now. And I used that method when I was, when I actually found it out at a Dale Carnegie course.
Oh,
Remember Dale Carnegie?
oh yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and that was exactly, and when I used to do the sales, I mean, I know what you feel like. Tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
sit there and you're waiting for the other guy to respond. And,
Exactly.
and he does. And just like you were, gave the example, that moved you into what area?
Well, that moved me, and I was working with this company in sales, and from there I became quite successful with this company. And then from there, I started my first company, which we lost eventually. What's interesting to me, though, and I go back to the providence of God. If that little old lady's not sitting next to me and she doesn't ask me,
Yeah.
and she's sitting there and she's talking to me, I don't want to be bothered. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to be bothered. And she told me that story. I go, really? I said, really? She's not there. I don't do it. I don't get the order. More importantly, I don't learn the lesson.
Yeah.
That's the act of God Almighty putting her there at the right time for me to be there to meet her. And sweet little, I'd love to hug her and thank her, but that's been years ago. I didn't know who she was, but an incredible event. And these events happen all through my life.
How did you meet
That's
Marge?
why I don't believe in luck.
Yeah. How did you meet Marge?
I was stationed in Crete, an island off of Greece. I was in the military. I was in what was called security service. We copied transmissions from Russia in those days. We were spies in the sky, they called us. And I had an apartment off base that I rented, and my wife was hitchhiking around Europe, which is very popular in those days.
Yes.
And she had come to the base, and one of the soldiers said, if you come to the base, I'll get you some peanut butter, because she wanted peanut butter. She couldn't find any good peanut butter on the economy. He couldn't get off at work, but I was driving out the base with a friend of mine, and we saw her and said, well, we picked her up to give her a ride to her village. And we said, sure, we can get you some peanut butter. That's not a problem. And we did, and we hit it off. And she was the first person, and maybe the first woman I ever met in my life. It was so easy to be around. Even to this day, I can make her mad, but I've got to work really hard at it. She's an incredible woman. She's an incredible. You know, I told my wife the other day, I said, honey, if you leave me, I'm going with you.
But she's got your back in all of these.
Oh yeah.
All these entrepreneur ideas.
Oh yeah.
Take me to your first big one. It's in the book, by the way. If you get a book, you're going to be amazed at the walk through his life.
Well, the first big one was we reprocessed surgical gowns and drapes, because in those days they'd gone from reusable gowns and drapes to disposables, a high cost. And we did that. And in fact, the story goes, we're also reprocessing surgical towels, but we couldn't get them out of China because they had quotas, our government put quotas on China. So we decided to go up to North Carolina, buy a place called Dakota Mills, rip it all out, send it down to Haiti, put it all in, install it, and start making our own towels in Haiti. It was a great plan. It was a great plan, okay? Unfortunately, we put $2 million in Haiti, and the government collapsed. My mills are still down there, by the way, making other products, but the government has them, and I don't have them. I lost all the money. And that was a lesson, a hard lesson to learn, that things sometimes don't go according to my plans, but they do go according to God's plans.
Amen. Now, walk us to each of them and how you got to the place where you were now one of the big dogs.
Well, when I lost everything, I was really good at being a salesman. So I picked up a bag and started going around collecting companies that would give me their lines to sell. And the story goes, I'm in this Central Supply lady's office, and I'm reading on her desk. I see a suture pack, but it's big. It's not like a normal suture pack. And so she said, well, Chuck, the original manufacturer stopped repackaging these for us because they said it was the AIDS virus. So we first started doing sutures, open and unused sutures, and we repackaged them. So I needed to sterilize. So I went out to LA to see my brother, who's a radiation oncologist. And I went to my parents who were retired, and I borrowed $20,000 a piece from them. My brother agreed to give me the money if I promised not to live with him when I got older. Okay. So we started with a small place, a 600 square foot facility. And from those humble beginnings, we started reprocessing devices. And we ended up in about 125,000 square feet with 500 employees in Lakeland. And the rest, they say, is history. It was quite a run, though, with all
What was the name of that company?
Vanguard Medical Concepts was the original company. And then we merged our largest competitor out of Phoenix, and we combined that to call it Ascent Healthcare Solutions. And that's the company that Stryker bought, which is a very big manufacturer who used to say bad things about us, but they bought us for cash, and everybody made some money. And then now they own a reprocessing company. You know, it's much like the drug companies when they first came out with the generic drugs years ago.
Yeah.
The drug companies fought it tooth and nail. But today, all your major drug companies own generic drug companies. That's what it. So I guess if you can't beat them, you join them, is the old saying.
Now, in selling, obviously, you got a pretty good size return on your investment, right?
We did, yes, we did.
How do all of the employees take that?
Well, you know, I'm a big believer. If you help bake the bread, you get to eat the bread too. So all my employees, down to the manager level on the floor, were given stock options. So a lot of, I would say all of 500 people, probably 400 made money on the deal. Less, some made more, some made less, but everybody was allowed to buy into the company to be owners. Owners work harder and they do better jobs if they own something. Now, I wanted my employees to be owners of the company.
You're right.
So we do that, and it was a very successful. I would say to anybody, you know, going back to this entrepreneur, you know, I get questioned all the time by young people. When I say young, 20 and 30-year-old, Chuck, I want to be an entrepreneur just like you. And I say, wait, first things first, you've got to find out what your talent is. God gives everybody a talent, everybody. And they go, well, how do you do that? I said, that's the easy part. In the scriptures, it says, in the counsel of many is wisdom. I want you to go out tomorrow for the next weeks and ask everybody you know, your parents, your siblings, your pastor, your boss, your girl that serves you coffee. Tell me, what am I good at? If you listen to them, you'll find out what you're good at. When you find out what you're good at, then pursue that, because if you pursue that, you'll never go to work. You'll only go to joy.
That's right.
And so, and it quite frankly, it's simple. My third daughter, she's when she was younger, she helped my wife clean. She always wanted to nurture this, that, and the other. Guess she's a nurse today because that's exactly what she's good at.
Perfect.
And you should always never fight against what you're good at. God has made you good for a reason, not for the money, but for His glory.
Now, after selling, turn the page. Where are you now?
After selling, I retired. I was how old was I? I think I was 55 years old. So I was going to retire.
Yeah, just a young kid.
Young kid.
I'll be 83 next month. So
just a baby.
A young kid.
So I go to retire and I go play golf every day. And I said, I'm going to go crazy. I can't do this. So I had my CFO said, go find us a company to buy so we can build it, not from the ground up, but take it and build it up. We looked at 3 companies, one in California, one in Florida, and one in, I think, Tennessee. And we bought the one in Florida. It was in the orthopedic business. We make orthopedic implants. We make trauma products. If you break your femur or your humerus, we have the product that fixes that, okay? And so I'm back at work now. I'm 71 years, I'm almost 72. And I know I have to retire at some point, but right now, God has given me a good brain health, and I'm going to keep doing this and helping people as long as I can. What I try to do in my career is make products that are, first of all, they're unique, and second of all, they help the patient, and third of all, they either cost the same or they're less. I want what I do to benefit society in the whole. I love being in the medical business because I can help patients by producing high quality products that help them, cost less, and very unique.
Where would you, let's back up to the beginning, had there been a coronavirus pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
Would you have been dead in the water?
That's a good question. No, the answer is no, not really. For example, and we're in the trauma business, okay? Now, the hospitals shut down elective surgeries like knees and hips, but they couldn't shut down trauma. Here's the problem, though. If people aren't moving, they're not falling down, they're not breaking their bones. So we lost money too. But I don't think the coronavirus, it would have slowed us down, but healthcare has to be healthcare. This whole thing, this whole pandemic, there's been a lot of misinformation out there. Okay, I encourage people all the time, get a vaccine. The vaccine, what you want from the vaccine is to stop you from going on a ventilator. So going in the hospital, get the vaccine. It's not going to hurt you. Okay. But I know there's a lot of, but I would never force anybody to get a vaccine if they don't want it. You don't want it, don't take it. It's a personal choice. But as a microbiologist, I know vaccines work. Going back to polio, going back to smallpox, rubella, mumps, I mean, they work. So I would say to people, get the vaccine only because it will mitigate you going to the hospital. That's all. You still may get the virus, but you won't get as bad. But again, that's a personal choice, and I would never force anybody to do it. I've encouraged employees here to get vaccinated, which they have, but I didn't make them get vaccinated. That's their choice.
Australia decided to force.
I know. It's I don't know. It's I don't know. It's funny. I could tell people all the time the cloth masks don't work. And finally, CDC said that 2 weeks ago.
Yes, that's
because
true.
The cloth mask, the coronavirus is 0.123 microns in diameter. The naturally occurring holes in the mask are about 100 microns. It goes right through them. The best thing you can do for the coronavirus or any flu virus, doesn't matter, socially distance, stay away from people that are sick. If you're sick, go home. Just stay away. That's the best. We know it's passed person to person. It's not passed on desk or handles. But again, as a famous senator from California said in 1919, the first victim in war is truth. The first casualty in war is truth. And this is a war. But look, as Americans, we're going to do just fine. We're going to get past this, and we're going to survive. It's not the end of the world, although that will come in eventually. But I think we'll be okay. It's just it's kind of a new normal, if I can use that term.
When you have a company, like you have a brand new startup again, mm-hmm. How do you determine that this is going to make money? What is it you look for? What do you watch carefully so that you know, I need to get out of this? This is going to work.
That's a great question. It's really simple. You have to have three things, okay? First, you have to have a product that is unique, and you know that just by it's unique, okay? Second, you have to have the people. The people who are qualified to sell it, to make it, etc. Good people. And third, you have to have the capital. Most businesses fail for the third reason.
Yes.
They run out of capital. So we've had a tough time here. We've got the capital. We're growing the business slowly, but we're doing fine. But you have to have the right product with the right person in the capital. If you have those three things, you will always be successful. It's just the degree of success you're going to have. That's all.
You've gone through the valley of financial death, so you know when somebody is not working. Instead of working, they're actually working against you. How do you protect that? Because right now, as we're sitting here talking, you could have somebody in your immediate circle that their agenda is not your agenda.
That's an interesting question. You're first of all, you're right. I would say to you, at the end of the day, you do the best you can with the people. You manage them. We have a code of ethics, and we put the code of ethics everywhere. You have to. This is what we believe. But at the end of the day, my hope is in God that He'll protect me, because I can't be all places, all things. I can't control all people. I didn't even control myself. I trust in God that He will raise up the people we need to be successful. And by the way, if He doesn't, that's His way of saying, go do something else, Chuck. That's not it. So you have to be willing. When you say you trust God, you have to be willing to fail.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as failure.
That's
There's
it.
no such thing as failure. It's only transition. It's only okay. Apparently, God, you want me to go do something else.
Yeah.
I was not on your page. Let me get back on your page, if you will.
Yeah.
And but that's the joy of life. To me, the joy of life is what's going to happen next. When I wake up in the morning, come to work, I'm excited because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We call things bad and good. Of course, we're human. But Romans says all things work together for good.
Yes.
Well, if that's true, that's true. So when something bad happens, I know that bad things happen. Our context is always, God, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Help me understand what you're doing. If I can't understand, help me. And if I can't understand, Lord, give me the peace that you're in charge and I can trust in you. Otherwise, you go crazy. You absolutely go crazy.
How's Marge in the family?
Marge's family, good. We have 11 grandchildren. She's a grandmother on steroids. She takes care of them all. We have 4 children. They're all doing well. Every family has their bumps in the road, but on balance, we have a close-knit family. We all live within 20 miles of each other, so that's nice for the grandkids. And
Now,
it's quite
financially, you wouldn't have to go to work again.
Financially speaking, no, I wouldn't. But unfortunately, I have to, apparently. Yeah, not financially though, but I tell people all the time, and people laugh when I tell them this. My goal in life is to die penniless. That's my goal. Now, if my wife precedes me in death, I want to die penniless. My children have told me that they will help me do that. Okay, they're on board. Okay, but
they're for that.
They're okay. But I came to this world naked. I came to this world with no money. I'm not leaving the world with money. I want my money, whatever portion God has given me, I want to use that portion to His glory. Whether that's given to the church or given to the pregnancy care center or whatever, is helping people on the street, doesn't matter. My job is to get rid of the funds and to do it as God would have me do it. But my hope is I'm on my deathbed, the phone rings, I pick it up, and my banker says, "You're $2 overdrawn." Perfect. Boom.
And Chuck, how I started when I read this, laid the book down and go, Lord, you must have something in mind. I found out after our conversation, and I thank you so much for giving your personal testimony and why you're here today and why you're still here in business in your 70s plus. Yep. And your path is lit by the person of the Lord Jesus Christ because you trusted Him many years ago, and He has led you to this place in your life. Let me just say a moment to the people watching. I'm holding the Bible in my hand. It's the answer for every need you may have. Jesus Christ is that answer. Trust Him today. God bless you. Bye-bye.